Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to, I want to say, episode number 11 of our Let's Play series of Strategic Command American Civil War. This is a game that is coming out on Steam on the 14th of July. It's already out on matrixgames.com. You can buy it directly from the developer, or actually the publisher, Matrix and Slytherin Games there. It is a game that's made by Fury Software. It is an American Civil War turn-based war game, and we are playing this series as the Union. In our last episode, we managed to take the Confederate capital of the state of Tennessee, Nashville, the first Confederate capital to fall into our hands. And I'm hoping they give us a nice little morale boost because the Union war effort is kind of flagging. Our fighting spirit is at 74%. The rebels are at 92%. The morale of many of our units is fairly low. Some of that's due to casualties taken. Some of that is also just due to the fact that we haven't had a ton of successes. We have taken Norfolk and Elizabeth City on the East Coast. We have blockaded Savannah by taking Fort Pulaski, and we are in the process of working on taking New Orleans, possibly next turn, maybe 2 turns away. The Confederates still have some naval forces there, but we have brought together a force of 2 Marine units and a HQ unit, so I'm hopeful that we can take New Orleans and maybe even drive up the river a little bit, and maybe even get as far as Baton Rouge, which I believe would be the capital of Louisiana in the Confederacy. New Orleans is obviously the prize, though. Well, the other alternative is we could use those Marines and go take another important place like Mobile or something like that. The rebels do have a block or an ironclad at Mobile. We've shot it up pretty bad, but took heavy naval casualties doing it. And we also have moved our naval forces adjacent to New Orleans, but the rebels still have some naval forces there. So we'll see how things play out as we move into December of 1862 and see what the Rebs have in store for us here. Confederate fighting spirit falls due to the loss of Nashville. We've got some ironclads on the way into the Mississippi. Continue to blow. So the Confederate morale fell. I didn't see it say the Union morale increased. I would have thought we would have gotten a morale boost ourselves for taking Nashville. There's the ironclad. She destroyed a gunboat flotilla there, gave them some national morale points. Looks like she repaired last turn to a level 8 status. A lot of rebel units moving around. Division near Fredericksburg is attacking a brigade of ours there. I'm curious to see if they pull back from eastern Missouri to refocus their situation in Tennessee. I would if I was them, but I think in these kind of games, especially with gigantic maps, that's one of those things the AI probably struggles with, is recognizing, oh, I should shift forces from eastern Mississippi or Missouri to, you know, western Tennessee to try and save the situation there. But they might. Well, I guess we'll see. All right, the ironclad moved a little bit more. Oh, what was the fort just bombed our or attacked our gunboats there adjacent to New Orleans. Another division near Culpeper attacked us. A division near Springfield in Missouri attacked us. Some cavalry is attacking us in the valley. We also destroyed another rebel corps last turn, by the way. We have some rebel troops surrounded at Carthage. The situation in New Mexico kind of sucks. We can't seem to get the edge there. I don't know why the rebels are so goddamn good there. I'm guessing it's morale and supply, but sometimes it's hard to tell. We have at least taken the mines in western New Mexico. There's another corps deployed here in eastern Missouri. I don't know why eastern Missouri is turning into this like stupid important spot on the map. Meanwhile, the French continue to expand their control in Mexico with their puppet in charge, and that was not a super active turn. We'll see about New Orleans here later this turn, but first things first, let's check on our troops. We lost the gunboat. A lot of blockade runner MPP losses. Our monitor arrived here. Since our forces have... Okay, so new decision. Since our forces have established a position in Tennessee, our commanders have reported the emergence of a shameful and evidently lucrative trade taking place behind our lines. Southern speculators have been selling the region's cotton crop to merchants behind our front line, who then exchange the cotton for gold, and that gold is then used to procure arms for the rebellion. Our commanders believe that we could crack down on this trade by mandating the use of treasury notes in place of gold for such transactions. As treasury notes have no value in rebel territories, this would deny the rebellion an estimated 40 MPPs each turn for the rest of the war. Unfortunately, some of our own merchants also distrust treasury notes, and we can expect such a mandate to reduce their support for the war effort, weakening our fighting spirit. In addition, the European buyers of this cotton would likely increase their support for the rebels as a result. Would you like to order a crackdown on Tennessee speculator trade? The Confederacy receives 40 MPPs each turn from the cotton speculator trade. If you order a crackdown, they will cease to receive this income. However, your own fighting spirit will fall by 2,000 points. In addition, the mobilization of 3 European powers will each increase by 5 to 12%. Historically, the speculator trade caused great frustration to Union commanders in the West, particularly Generals Grant and Sherman, who each wrote serious, furious letters to the Treasury Department. Although Grant attempted to implement his own crackdown on the trade by declaring gold and silver contraband of war, the Treasury ordered these measures reversed out of concern for the impact on Union commerce. So historically, the Union said no. My war support's already low enough. I'm going to say no. Meanwhile, we've got General Winfield Scott Hancock. His headquarters is arriving this turn. We also have French's division, Farrow's division, and a gunboat, a river gunboat. Okay. All right, these guys' morale sucks because they've been, I guess, overused or something. These rebels are surrounded. Let's get a 1 to 3 at Springfield. Hopefully we can finish these guys off. Not quite, but they'll probably die next turn. Okay, so Nashville has fallen and we have troops down there. 2 to 7. Hell yeah, attack that division and rock them. I need more cavalry there, really. But okay, so we took Nashville and we just destroyed a rebel division near Nashville. I can't see jack shit because I have no cavalry down there. I can move the cavalry down here, but then that opens up these guys to move around us. How many troops I can rail? I think we can sit with 10 supply here next turn, right? Yeah, 10-9-9. Okay, that'll be good for these guys to rest in eastern Tennessee, near Knoxville. We will repair these guys to full strength. I don't really think I want to move either of these units here. I don't want to risk it. Might not be a bad idea moving some of these troops west, though, to block the crossing of the Tennessee here. Halleck's a little bit exposed. That was dumb. I shouldn't have moved Halleck there. The supply situation is going to be worse. Oh well. What are we doing here? We really need to rest some of these troops. Okay. Can we use our gunboat here to come back up and block that crossing? We might be able to block the crossing by putting this iron gunboat here to protect our flank. Once we destroy this division, then we can free up the brigade and 2 other divisions here. There are gunboats in Nashville. All right, 1 to 2, 1 to 1. Their morale is good, so I'll take a 2 to 7 against that brigade. Pull them back, move this brigade forward. Should shield the core from damage next turn. These guys fell back out of my reach. Okay, we'll repair this gunboat here up at St. Louis. All right, so I think that is it for the Eastern Missouri, Western Kentucky, Tennessee region. Not sure where we're going to deploy our reinforcements yet, but we'll wait on that for the moment. Meanwhile, Hampton's Cavalry Division is still surrounded. I don't know what these Rangers are supposed to do. Hoping their supply situation gets worse. My own isn't great. Right, these guys are surrounded at Carthage, and yet our attacks can't do jack against them. Go after the division near Wilson's Creek. Doesn't help that my morale and readiness is so low. 1% and 21%. Okay. Jesus Christ, these guys hate their lives, I guess. All right. All right, we'll look at New Mexico now. One to 5. Can we just get them to pull back or something? All right, and we did a little bit of damage to that lead division of theirs, or brigade. I'd love to take whatever their supply source is up here. I don't know that they have one. Can my gunboats help on the river here? They're bombarding Williamsburg a little bit. I like how the 1 to 0 got me nothing, and then the 1 to 1, or the 1 to 0 got me something, and the 1 to 1 got me nothing. Keep fighting near Williamsburg. All right, we've got the prepared assault at Fredericksburg, so I'll take that. We'll take some casualties here, but I don't mind taking casualties, especially with brigades. We drove them back, took Fredericksburg. I don't think it's technically a fighting spirit location anymore. In any event, we took it. Let's have these troops that are pulled back. This core will resupply. 3 versus that division. Nice. Got him. Nice. We destroyed that rebel division that was in front of Culpeper now. And are driving them back. They're running. All right. There you go. So we got some fresh troops moving up here in the direction of Richmond. We're closing in a little bit. We'll have to spend some time reinforcing some of these troops. I don't think it's going to make sense to deploy Hancock here. I think we don't have enough we have enough troops here in the east right now, based on what we're seeing. I'd like to destroy these partisans at Philippi, or however you pronounce it. Can't move mountain troops faster? Bastards! They're gonna reinforce again. Right, so we're keeping the partisans here under lock and key. These guys' morale sucks. All right. Someone commented that soldiers that are in units where they don't have like 100% strength, their morale hurts, which would be interesting. I was not aware of that, if that is the case. All right, so that's done. Do we try and take New Orleans this turn? All right, I'll take the hit there. God damn it, we didn't finish off the fort. Land here. Got it. All right, so those troops destroyed the fort at New Orleans, and then Foster's Marines are going to go in and land into New Orleans, so we take some landing casualties. Interesting, we didn't take them from the other guys who landed. Gonna guess the rebels have troops up near Baton Rouge. So we're going to drop Butler in here. And supply situation's going to be good for both of these units. So we landed 2 Marine units near New Orleans, and we managed to take the town. So there you go. New Orleans has fallen. That should give us a nice morale boost. Certainly will hurt the rebel morale. Meanwhile, our ironclad, the Agamentus, has arrived, and we're going to go try and deal with the rebel monitor here that's raging in the Gulf. Okay, so we drove it back a bit. Looks like my monitor wasn't able to get up there far enough. Probably need to pull some of those frigates back. I'll take 3-1 on a gunboat. We'll drive it back into Pensacola. Whoops. Can probably reinforce at Pensacola. Our forts, in theory, can bombard it. We have multiple shells. So New Orleans has fallen. Monitors on the way. Alright, so what do we do with these troops that we have? Can we deploy them to Nashville? No. So I'm thinking a drive south to Memphis would make sense. Could it happen from Cairo? Could. It's probably better to get these cores over to Grant, though. Although Grant could certainly use a new headquarters. So we could put Hancock here. He's a good commander, just shy of Grant's skill, you can see. Move this division toward Paducah. Or we could move him into this bottleneck down here. Let's move this guy down to Paducah. We'll move the corps down to Cairo. We'll put French's division back here. And then this last remaining division. I want to reinforce Hancock because he's a good commander, so we'll keep that division on the river. I don't love the idea of deploying them there because they are vulnerable when they're in that river hex to an enemy attack. But they can only attack from one direction, and it won't be a prepared assault. So I'm okay with that. The corps will cross toward Paducah next turn. And then hopefully we finish the division off near Springfield next turn. And then the soldiers near Nashville can consolidate their position. We do have a corps there as well. I'd like to reinforce these guys before we drive south. Really, I want to destroy this guy and then get the cavalry over to get us some eyes and ears for Halleck. Meanwhile, we have 764 left this turn. We spent a fair bit on reinforcements this turn. We got 150 left we can dump into research, which I think we're gonna do. Naval weapons are almost there. Production technology needs more investment. Well, we don't have enough to do it though because it's not 150. Amphib warfare, naval tactics, cavalry tactics. Probably cavalry tactics. That makes sense. All right. Meanwhile, that leaves me 614 left. So I'm going to go ahead and spend that on some some Marines. And then let's get another monitor going. All right. Especially since the Rebs are dumping out ironclads there. So we'll go ahead and end the turn. Confederate fighting spirit falls due to the loss of New Orleans. Union celebrates the capture of New Orleans. Let's continue toward Fort Pickens. European support for the Confederacy drops following the occupation of New Orleans. Good news bears for us. A massive fire devastates the Tredegar Iron Works in Richmond. I'm guessing that's a set event based on what happened historically. Rough seas hit one of our frigates. We need to check on some of the blockading squadron too. Some of them probably need to fall back to get better supply. Infantry equipment level 2, so we can upgrade our ground units to level 2. That will be useful. I believe that's the max upgrade too for them. Like there's not a level 3. Goddamn torpedo boats. They're gonna, well, no, they didn't attack that gunboat. So the monitor of theirs tried to fall back from where they were. I would have thought they would have attacked that gunboat there, but they didn't. And while they're railing some engineers into Paducah, I'm not sure what they're going to do. Obviously try and defend, I suppose. Reinforcing the troops in Springfield, the fort in Williamsburg. Every turn, I think maybe they're going to pull troops back from northern New Mexico, and they don't. I didn't even use my troops in the valley, did I? I just let those guys sit there. The Shenandoah Valley troops. They could use a day off. Fighting in bad weather also, I believe, hurts morale considerably. I don't know if the weather itself hurts the morale or if it's just fighting in it. Alright, I'm okay with that gunboat damage caused by the division of troops because they didn't destroy it and it blocked their access across the river. But yes, ground units can do damage to naval forces. And if you're in port, the damage can be especially bad. When you're not in port, it's not as effective. They're going to counterattack at Fredericksburg. Pretty heavy losses for the brigade there that tried to attack. See what the weather looks like on our turn. Another corps, or maybe that was the corps that was already there, maneuvering near Cape Girardi, or however you pronounce that. See, the Rebs here in northeastern, or I guess this is southeastern Missouri, really should pull back, in my opinion. They really should pull back to New Madrid, to the fort back there, and then shift the bulk of their infantry troops to Nashville, is what I would do if I was them. But I don't know that the AI is good enough for that. I'd be curious to play a human opponent in this. And actually, I've been another YouTuber reached out and asked if I wanted to do a multiplayer game, which we might do. I just got an inquiry about doing a ACW2, the AJOD game, in a multiplayer match. Okay. So here's the problem that we're going to run into. If I attack the Monitor, or their ironclad, with my own ships in the Gulf, I'm going to run into some challenges, because it'll probably just run away. If I do 1 to 2, it'll run. Yeah. They ran, but they didn't get... Hell yeah, they didn't get to the port here. So we attacked with our own Ajax. Damaged them. Now they're at 2, and we destroyed it. A big or a big fighting spirit bonus of 522 for that. And you can see our own fighting spirits back up to 78% after the fall of New Orleans here, which is actually equal to the Confederate fighting spirit. So there you go. Set these frigates back on the blockade line. Reinforce these guys back up to full strength. Get these gunboats out there. What's the supply situation here? Not great. New Orleans is closed though, so no more convoy income for them there. Or if we could take Pensacola or something. Baton Rouge is unoccupied? I hesitate to move these troops quite that far because they don't have any upgrades for their weapons, but I'll definitely move the Marines up to Baton Rouge if it's unoccupied. Keep Butler in New Orleans. Maybe take the southern part of... If we can get these Marines up here... I mean, I really should transport some Army units in. But Baton Rouge is another Confederate capital. And that'll push the line of advance all the way up toward Port Hudson. Meanwhile, we drove the rebel gunboats back up that way. Nice little battle there south of Hudson. The river supply is going to be nice too. Let's move these guys into these southern forts or ports or whatever. Alright, did this frigate ever get back up to... So, like, yeah, their morale sucks. I also haven't touched the Texas ports. So probably should stick some blockaders on there. Okay, we'll keep bombarding Williamsburg, see if maybe we could reduce the fort's effectiveness enough to take. Probably not, but we'll keep doing it. Okay, we're going to upgrade these troops that aren't on the front lines. Weapons. Then I'm going to move that brigade at Wilmington into some transports and get them to the Gulf. You know, let's... Oh, some of those guys can't get to full strength, huh? Upgrade everybody you can. Get them all to level 2. I don't know if the Rebs are there yet. I haven't seen anything indicating they are. Alright, I got a 2 there. A 2 there with those 2 divisions attacking. Hopefully these brigades can finish. Fucking bastards. Couldn't finish them off, but I drove them off the town. So they should have no supply next turn. It should be sitting ducks. And then I'm going to take these divisions and move them toward Charleston, West Virginia. Let's upgrade that guy. Okay. So I'm guessing the weather is why the supply is lower for some of those units. That monitor up to full strength. Do we have new gunboats? We do. Can I deploy those to the Gulf directly? No, they gotta be at, I guess it makes sense. They should be at shipyards. Deploy them directly into the Gulf shipyard though. Meanwhile, a new Marine unit here, which is also ready. So we are going to have a new Marine unit, which I think we'll deploy to the Gulf, although I can't do it via the gunboat route. So we'll do, I feel like I forget about them if they're elsewhere. Guess we'll do Newark. And then a Union division, which I'm frankly tempted to deploy also via transports and really reinforce Butler. I want to get a division at like Baton Rouge to block any rebel counterattack, perhaps. So we have 2 divisions here. And then maybe a brigade at Plaquemine. So maybe 2 divisions at Baton Rouge blocking this rail line toward New Orleans. And then a brigade at Plaquemine. And then we can also deploy one of the Marine units to Galveston, perhaps, to start eating into the rebel resources. All right. Snowy in Kentucky. All right, let's get this core in there. Okay, so we've got Paducah surrounded now. Should have used that gunboat to bombard those troops. in any event. Right, give me the 1 to 2 for the brigade against the division. I'll take that. Got him. All right. Wiped out that rebel division here south of Cape Girardi, or however you pronounce that. We'll get those troops off the river. And then let's upgrade these guys to level 2 weapons. They're probably not thrilled to be in shitty weather. Mediocre supply, backwater Missouri, but so another rebel division destroyed here. Let's actually take a look at the graphs here. So MPPs, rebel collected income still is only oh, that's Union. Rebel losses have actually been exceeding their income a little bit. You can see a pretty big drop off there, I assume, when New Orleans fell. We also see convoys here. You can see their convoy income versus loss from our activity getting pretty close to negating their income. Fighting spirit for us took a big hit. I don't even know why it took that hit. Or that's the rebels actually, fall of New Orleans. Meanwhile for us, jumped up a little bit with taking New Orleans back. Was on a steady decline before that. And then French's division. I'd be tempted to just fast march these guys here, but I worry they'd get wrecked. So I think we'll take a slower approach with Paducah. I already took a big hit by fast marching the 4th Corps here. Meanwhile, Springfield is surrounded. Finish off the rebel division there. Retake that base. Move the cavalry over. Do some scouting. Why do all these guys' morale suck? Why'd I move that guy? I should have kept him in his position. I don't know why some of these units' morale is so bad. Okay. Okay, so we'll cut the rail line down here. And we'll move this new gunboat to block the crossing of the Tennessee here. So I don't know, like there's presumably some supply coming up through Chattanooga and up through here. So I don't know if it matters that I've got this gunboat all the way down here, but I like to think it does. Cutting the river supply line maybe. All right, those guys have... So the Burnside's troops morale is better. I don't get it. Okay. All right. These guys surrounded. Supply 2. But it's winter. Maybe you need to like, I'm curious if your troops sit in a city, maybe their morale goes up. I'm not really clear on all the morale mechanics. I could look at the manual, but what fun would that be? All right, so upgrade. Oh God, these guys. Let's get the headquarters unit into this town. All right, so that supply situation is going to do what now that we've got the headquarters in the town? Get slightly better. I was hoping for more. Can't like upgrade any of those guys. Okay, let's save that attack till we've got all those units upgraded. And that's probably going to do it for this turn. I'm trying to keep some of my troops stationary to see if that'll help their morale recover. I'm guessing the weather isn't helping. It's also January. We're into 1863 though. Those troops, once this brigade's gonna move. New Orleans is a nice capture. Baton Rouge is a nice capture. Wouldn't mind making a play for Mobile if we can. Okay. Interesting that some of these towns have decent values for MPPs in southern Louisiana. Do you have any partisan issues down here? As long as we keep New Orleans garrison, doesn't look like southern Louisiana is a partisan area. Upgrade that division, keep them in place. Okay. All right. I think we're good. Can we sack Burnsides and replace him with someone better? We could. We could put Hooker there, Rosecrans, McClernand, Curtis. Let's do Hooker. That's a lot of MPPs for only a slight upgrade in commanders, but we'll do it. That leaves us with 299 left. We've got, oh wow, quite a bit of research completed. Infantry equipment is maxed out, so we can't research that anymore. We've got more points than available, so leadership we could devote. Field telegraph we could devote points to. I would rather go with cavalry tactics because there's room for a level 2 growth there from 1 to 3. We're almost done with level 2 infantry tactics, and then there's one more research chit already assigned to it. Experimental balloons are about to max out also. So we're like already getting to the end of the research tree for a lot of the things that would matter to us. I would think maybe buoyancy tanks would matter for us. Fort modernization, not really. The rebels aren't going to hit us a lot on the forts. Armored trains, maybe, like I do have one, but I think we're just going to keep the 150 that I've got left over here. Unless it makes sense to upgrade this river ironclad. I guess it could. Buy one. I think we'll hold off on that. I think we'll keep the 140 for the next turn. Now, that being said, we've been going for over 40 minutes here, so I think we will wrap this up and we will continue in our next episode. Until then, though, guys, we have taken another rebel capital at Baton Rouge. New Orleans fell this turn as well, so some big amphibious successes here. We've surrounded Paducah. We have solidified our hold on Nashville, and I think we're going to be ready to, you know, start maybe pushing in toward Chattanooga, maybe, or maybe toward Knoxville if we can, and really sort of ripping the heart out of Tennessee. We do also need Hancock and Grant to make progress in Missouri and Mississippi here. Maybe driving south to protect the flank of Nashville. That would be nice to at least get to Trenton or Jackson to really guard the right flank. But then that also makes the move toward, oh, that's Jackson, Tennessee. Make the move toward Memphis also would be a thing to do. Oof, it's a lot of headquarters down there. I'm just behind in a lot of places. Maybe not in front of Richmond, but elsewhere. Behind. But yeah, so that'll do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed yet another look at Fury Software's newest Strategic Command game, Strategic Command American Civil War, published by Matrix and Slytherin Games, available on matrixgames.com, and as of the 14th, it will be available on Steam. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out. Bye-bye.